Well, I said it on the radio. One of the biggest stats on the stat sheet tonight is Boatwright had 2 assists. In the first game, he had 18 points and 8 assists, which means we kept him out of the lane for a good portion of the game. Because what he does is when he gets points and assists, he gets points for guys for them who normally may struggle to score a little bit. Gets layups for their bigs. He gets wide open shots for a couple of their shooters who are not as good at creating off the dribble. And I think that's one of the biggest stats on the stat sheet. Gave up 17 offensive rebounds, which I wasn't very happy with, but they only scored 9 second chance points on those. I'm going to have to look at that film, and we certainly can't give up 17 to other teams and expect to win. But when you hold a team to 32% shooting, you got a pretty good chance to win. Obviously very proud of everybody that played tonight. Every guy that played contributed. Team attitude was tremendous. Tay got 1 shot, but he could care less because we won the game. And, obviously we got to get him some more touches, but overall, great crowd, tremendous crowd, helped us. The whiteout helped us, and the crowd helped us. And our guys were ready to play tonight, and they followed the game plan to the T. Questions?
You said you guys were ready to play. How much of that is because it's UCONN and they're defending national champs?
I don't know that defending national champs had a whole lot to do with it. The fact they beat us up there had more to do with it than anything. And we're home. You got to hold. If you're going to be in a race for the league, you got to hold home court advantage. You got to hold service at home. You can't lose. And our guys know that, and they were not happy about the loss up there, obviously, and the way we lost. And we felt like we, did some things that made it easier for them to win. So tonight they were ready for a little payback.
How has this rivalry grown over the years? You've been here since you guys were in the Big East with them.
Well, over the years, I mean, it's because they're a good team and we're a good team. Usually it's, usually 2 teams are ranked coming into the game. We weren't tonight, but most years you're ranked, and it's developed into a great rivalry, and one that's good for our league, and excited about the fact that there are rivalries developing in the league, and that get those kind of crowds and that kind of atmosphere. That's what you play college basketball for as a player, is that opportunity to play in that kind of atmosphere. So it is developed into quite a rivalry.
Troy and Gary both talked about not being pleased with how they played up there. For 2 young guys, how big is it for them to step up in the return game and play like they did?
Well, I mean, it's the difference in the game. Gary played scared to death up there. He hit the wall about that time as a freshman, and he looked like he was scared today. He was just, I don't know, I don't think Gary was scared, but he was just unaggressive. And tonight, he was aggressive tonight. He was aggressive. And, we talked to him in the shoot-around today. The last thing before he left, we pulled him aside and said, hey, Gary, man, look, when you're open, a little roll and you get to that open area, shoot it. Don't quit worrying about it. What should I do? And, if you get an opening to attack a guy, go attack the guy, which he did tonight. And, he didn't care if Brima was, they put Brima on him to put size on him, but he didn't care. He just went right at him, and pretty successfully. So that was big. Obviously, Troy played tremendous, except for I want to choke him. But when you're young, you have to go through learning a lot of things, and obviously the officials were calling the game tight, and he didn't. In those situations, you can't say a word, you can't display anything, and he did the wrong thing, and that was. He knows the mistake he made. Troy knows the mistake he made at the end of the game, and I certainly don't expect him to ever do it again. But obviously, he had a tremendous game as a player.
There's been talk about him stepping up and growing into a leadership role. Was this guy tonight that was aggressive and attacking and always looking to make something happen the guy that you've been trying to develop him into?
Absolutely. Somebody's got to step up and take charge a little bit, and particularly when it's best if your point guard can be. It's the natural guy, and like Boatwright is for them. And you look around the league, usually the step-up guys, either the 1 or 2 guard most of the time. you know, it's a lot easier because they get the ball in their hands so much. And again, very pleased with his aggression in the game, and you know, made smart plays for the most part. A couple turnovers that I'd like to have back.
How big was Corey's play there in the first half with Octavius?
Huge. I mean, and he had to play on the defensive end, which is where he's, you know, Corey doesn't really struggle on offense most of the time. If we get him the ball, he's going to get fouled, get a bucket, you know, something good's going to happen. But he played much better defensively tonight, and he had to. Tay, you know, we couldn't put Tay back in, and I just thought Corey, you know, he obviously had 6 points and all that, and everybody worries about those stats, but he was much better defensively. He made a couple mistakes. He listened in the huddle, corrected those, and then he was fine. But huge minutes by him.
You talked about earlier in the week how much they pack the lane, how tough they make it. But you guys only took 11 three-pointers, so you weren't settling. Obviously, that had to be part of the plan, but you have to be pleased with how they executed that.
Well, you know, I told him I was tired of hearing about how good UConn's defense is, and it is a good defense. I mean, they are good defensively. But I said, you know, sometimes you can give an opponent too much credit, and you get so worried about driving in there because it's going to be caught, whatever. Again, tonight we threw it in there, we drove it in there. I'd have to go back and look at what we call paint touches, but we had a lot of paint touches tonight. And, you know, you got to give your opponent respect, but not too much respect. And, again, tonight we got enough done offensively, and we got a lot of offense generated off our defense by getting steals and deflections and getting layups, and you know, those are hard. Can't guard those.
Talk to me also about the bottom guys in the zone being as active as the top guys. Gary gets 4 steals. Is that what you were talking about? From
Absolutely.
Them active?
Absolutely. When you got the bottom of your zone working as hard as those 2 guards are out there, then you're going to get more deflections. Then it's tougher to run offense. Then they can't just run their plays. And we got that out of Gary, and even Jermaine and Shaq tonight. You know, everybody that played down there was much more active. And, you know, what gets lost in Tay's stats and his minutes, I mean, he made some tremendous rotations to take away shots. He anchored our defense from behind. And, you know, he had 3 blocks. I got to see the one. I guess it was goaltending, but I don't know. That was pretty close. I tell these officials sometimes before the game, now this guy, he's a freak. He can jump a little higher, and he's a little longer than most people, you know. But, you know, he did a lot of things that aren't showing up in that stat sheet tonight. In the back of the zone, all the back of the zone was more active tonight.
Anything else for Coach?
Well, you guys are easy.
It's late.
It's late. Let's get the hell out of here.
Took it kind of personal that last UConn game, the way Boatwright played and outplayed you. Is that going through you tonight, knowing you had to come out here and do that for yourself?
Yeah, I kind of took that game real personal. Like, it kind of touched my insides when we lost last time. And, you know, he's a great player. And matchups like that is what you want to play. That's what you come to college basketball for. And, you know, playing against Boatwright and having a wonderful game is what's been running through my mind since practice. And every day I wanted to go out there and I wanted to get this dub. This dub was personal. You know, UConn Cincinnati, Big East to American Conference is a game that I'll never forget once I graduate.
Is this like the rivalry game in the conference?
Right now, this is the rivalry from way back when to now. You know, when we go there, it's always sold out there, and when they come here, it's always sold out here. So it's fun, you know, it's loud, and you got real hoopers. They take games like that personal.
What happened? Did you just get over exuberant there and say a couple things? Is that how they caught you?
Nah, not for real. Like the first tech, I understand, but the second one, I was talking to my teammate, and you know, it could have been the perception of it that the ref took or whatever, you know, and he teed me up. But hey, that's the game of basketball. When it's a game of emotions, you know, and with a game like this, winning, all you can do is be happy for the team and be happy we came out victorious.
So the first one, you did say something?
No, I didn't say nothing, but you know, I gave him a little look. You know, after the end one, I gave him a little look.
Gary, with with Octavius out, how important was it for you guys to get minutes from Corey and then yourself? You're able to give.
It was big, for Corey to come in and get a bunch of deflections the first half. I think he led us the whole game from just coming in the first half and playing big. That was really big. Coach always tell him to come be ready when his number's called. So for him to step up when we needed him, it was big. And me personally, I felt like I had to rebound the ball better than I did the first game. I feel like I let my team down the first time at UConn. I'm expected to do what I did tonight. So, I was just really trying to focus on, playing hard and boxing out and getting the consecutive rebounds.
Did you guys feel more aggressive even from the get-go tonight as a team?
Oh, yeah. Coming home, playing home, and sold-out crowd, it's just a bunch of excitement. Like you said, emotions are running high. As basketball players, we live for these games like this. So, we was really aggressive, ready to play Cincinnati basketball from the jump.
How was that atmosphere for you? Is that something you haven't experienced before here?
No, that was definitely my first one atmosphere like that, but it was a pretty good feeling.
Gary, what was the difference for you? You had 2 points in the first game. You talked the other day about how you wanted to atone for that, or whatever you want to call it. What was the difference? Why were you able to score more tonight?
I was really patient this time. Really going to the glass offensively. Making sure I was in the right positions to score. At their place, I was pretty much rushing, worrying about the shot blocker. Tonight, I was just taking my time. So, I feel like I let my teammates and coaching staff down the first time at UConn. So, tonight I had to do what I'm expected of every night.
Troy, what's this game mean to you in terms of the context of the season? I mean, you beat them here last year, too. Of course, they went on to win the national title. I mean, it's 2 different years, but what does it mean to beat them now at this point?
For the conference, or just in general?
Both, yeah.
Well, they are national champs, and they was projected to beat us and all that. So, we kind of took it personal, as we said earlier. Being the national champions, that doesn't mean really anything. It's a new year, new season. They always play hard and aggressive defensive team. You just got to come in ready to play versus whoever, UConn or anybody else. And, they came in, they played hard, but, you split games like this, you never lose at home. And if you don't lose at home, you got a chance to win the conference. And that's our big goal. That's the overall goal, is to win the conference. We lost at their house, we won here, we'll see them again. But this puts us in the ratings for the top teams in the conference.
Coach talked about making some adjustments to the zone in that time since you guys had the 2-game losing streak. Could you tell that it really frustrated them, and it seemed like they couldn't really get anything going until Boatwright got hot? Yeah,
the whole coaching staff watched a lot of film, day and night. They even showed us when we played them at their spot. We was playing like a bad man-to-man in the zone. And, they made some changes. They figured it out what it was about. And, we figured it out, and we made some defensive changes, and we stopped them, and they couldn't really figure it out throughout the game.
Gary, how much does this suit you being on that bottom wing, being able to be aggressive? Because it seems like at least once or twice a game you're able to jump a passing lane, get a steal, and make something happen.
Before I wasn't really doing it, but Coach Cronin actually, when he sits in the practice, when we fixed it, he was yelling at me, "You got to get off that block." And so Coach Savino is always yelling, I need a steal from you this game. So, I'm always looking to be aggressive on that wing because, in high school I was in the paint. So, when I get those things, I feel so good inside when I get a steal because I feel like I play good defense, but really I'm just reading.
Troy, you guys, the first game you had 15 turnovers. Tonight you guys had 15 turnovers here, but you still scored 70 points. Why the difference? Why the better offensive output tonight despite the number of turnovers?
We had 15 turnovers, but we didn't give them transition points off turnovers. That was a big thing. At home they had 32 points in the paint, 11 free throws, and we kind of that was our big goal too, to not give them points in the paint, don't let them score off turnovers, and keep them off the line. And that's what we focused on, and that's what we did. 15 turnovers is a lot of turnovers, but if you get the turnovers and you don't produce off turnovers, and we stop them on the other end, it's like an even out possession.
Did it feel like that same thing was a problem for you in the first half? You guys turned them over 9 times, but you weren't able to really get
score
that going and scoring off of them?
Yeah. I wouldn't say that we just couldn't hit shots for real. in the first half, but we were still, we still got the lead. We still got points off turnovers. So it wasn't like a thing that frustrated us or put us down. We was always up. It's just off those things, those don't come every time, every possession, and when you do, we try to capitalize.
You just put the headband on because of the bump?
Yeah, the bump. It had to contain it. It was a little swollen at first. The headband? Nah, it was just a little one-time thing. I wouldn't say that's because of the headband. I say it's because it was basketball.
16 foot. One of the headbands already opened a Twitter account.
Oh, yeah, see? But, hey, we'll never know if we'll see next game, huh?
Anything else?
The headband?
Going one and done with the headband?
Most likely. I'll probably go one and done with it.
It was bleeding then?
It was like, yeah, like in the middle of it. It was kind of bleeding, but it wasn't nothing leaking down my face. It was a big knot, and right in the middle, in the pointer, it was kind of bleeding a little bit. The trainers did a good job to get it down, wrapped her up, put the headband on it, and we was back out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's